I'm Michael Bain and welcome to Triggered, coming to you from the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains and Dragon House Studios. And as you know, mix and match is fun to do. What Ken and Barbie wear is indeed up to you, and it's the same with ARs. One of our sponsors, Luth-AR, Randy Luth, of course, founder of DPMS, really one of the guys who launched the whole AR craze in the United States. I was talking to those guys a couple of weeks ago and I said, what's hot? You know, what is really selling well right now? And they answered really interestingly to me. They said retro. Retro AR stuff is selling really well. Now they offer two completed retro uppers. This one is roughly A1C7. And it's A2 furniture on it, the A2 handguard, flash hider. The front sight, the high front sight there is the correct for that period of time. It's a way to put together a retro AR without becoming obsessed with putting together a retro AR. And I know there's some people out there who are like that. They offer a number of different furniture options, as well as a second complete upper that is slick-sided. So it would be an earlier version, say Vietnam-era version of the AR. But I just put this together today, and it's not 100% put together, because I know this has never happened to any of you. But sometimes when you're putting these things together, there's a couple of springs, like back here, back there, that you get to launch into your gun room where you will never see again. I have plenty of them because I have a Luth-AR lower kit. I just haven't had a chance to put them in. Now, of course, my lower receiver, absolutely positively not retro. It's just Stag Arms receiver from, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that. I happen to have this receiver there. This is Luth-AR furniture, and I like the idea of putting together something different, something that is going to be challenging, because you get used to those red dot sights. You get used to like low-powered variable optics, but this is an easy way to get into a different AR and to get into kind of a different style of shooting. And there's a number of different competitions that kind of mandate a vintage AR. So if you're sitting around thinking like, wow, I really would like to have another AR build and I'm not sure what I want to do, I strongly suggest that you check out Luth-AR, because actually when I put this thing together, I thought, wow, that's great. I need to get the lower finished the same way as the upper. I need to get all those pesky springs in. And then I'm going to see if my eyes can still shoot at distance with this AR. We'll be right back.
This week's Triggered is brought to you by Hunter's HD Gold. They change so you don't have to. MTM Case Guard. Quality shooting sports accessories. Luth-AR. Are you ready? Genuine US-made AR parts. And America's Rifle Challenge, the National Rifle Association's newest AR-based sport.
Welcome back to Triggered. Some of the big news from the last week is how Glock is discontinuing many of their earlier models and will be replaced with the Glock V, an all-new type Glock, although we have no idea how new that's actually going to be. But that brought me back to guns that I've been working with a good bit now. This is Rock Island's STK line, and they are, I guess you could call them Glockish clones, many parts interchanged with Gen 3 Glocks. But the neat thing about them is they have an aluminum frame. And the aluminum frame essentially is set up the same way with the ergonomics of a 1911. It's designed to feel like a 1911. The frames themselves, they're really excellent. They really got the serrations, the grip here, got it exactly right. It's something they've been working on for a good bit of time. Obviously a striker-fired pistol, but with the aluminum frame, it's a different feel. Now it adds a little weight. This is actually right now kind of my favorite. It's the STK 200. It is in effect a Glock 19-ish pistol with an aluminum frame. Obviously 15 round G19 magazines are good to go there. It's also already cut for an optic, as you might expect, has co-witness suppressor size sights, and it has actually an excellent flat trigger on it. It's got a good trigger pull, it's got a great trigger. It feels like a small 1911 in your hands, and you know what? MSRP on these guys is, call it $450, $4.50, but typically you see them for sale in the $350, $310 range. The 200 is a G19. This is a 150, which is effect sort of like, was it G45 19X, which has basically, as we all use Glock standard measurements for everything, you know, a G17 length grip, G19 slide, and this one shoots really, really well. And plus the original 100, which is very much Glock 17 size. I do want to mention before we get out of here, I've been really happy with these Riton sights. R-I-T-O-N, Riton. This is their small size sight, essentially RMSC size, and it still gives you the option of different dot and a donut. Right now it's set up with dot and a donut, which I really like. It's a very fast sight to acquire on what amounts to a small gun. And in keeping with the idea that these optics are designed to fit maybe at a more reasonable price at some of the higher optics, you can get into this sight for, I figured, around $300, $329 MSRP, but it's going to be available for sale a lot cheaper. But these are good guns. They're rock solid. They feel like a 1911. They run like a Glock. What more can you ask? We'll be right back.
You know the RIA 5.0 packs radically new innovations, but we didn't stop there. Introducing the RIA 5.0E. The E stands for enhanced, as in new optics, cuts, and plates. The updated barrel is crafted with improved materials and slide geometry. The look and feel is also enhanced. Plus, new lightning cuts show off the updated match-grade barrel. Experience the enhanced RIA 5.0E today.
My good friend Stephen Hunter, of course, the Pulitzer Prize winner, best-selling novelist, has a brand new book out, and it continues the saga of the Swagger line, except this time we go back a little. In fact, it's time to cowboy up. Steve, as always, it's great to see you, and it's always great to see you when you're out with a new book. So we're once again with the Swagger family, but you sort of changed things up this time. Tell me a little bit about your thinking.
Well, the phrase I used to describe my mental condition before I started this book was Glock fatigue. I was just sick and tired of the modern inventory of firearms, Glocks, M4s, even some Berettas. I grew to hate them. They're everywhere. They're in every book. They're in every thriller. They're on every book jacket. There's always a scrawny guy with lots of hair running somewhere with a Glock in his hand. Please go away. So where can I do this? Where can I set this and have some fun with the guns? And I decided upon the year 1897, a very propitious year in the firearms culture business. It was still, rugged enough to be the Wild West, and yet modernity was creeping in. Semi-automatic pistols, machine guns, things like that. And also, and most important to me, that let me give Jack Bisley revolvers. And I love Bisleys. And they just have never gotten the attention that they should have gotten. And so I decided, it had to be after 1894, but give me some credit. It also had to be before 1912, because in 1912, that's when the Bisley matches started. And in the book, this shows how, what a I don't know, some kind of weird, brilliant genius I am. They never refer to the pistols as Bisleys because there was no Bisley whip in 1897. So how about that, Mr. Persnickety? I'm pleased that I got that stuff right. I had fun with it. And also, it's when black powder was dying and smokeless was coming in, and that sea change in firearms, ballistics, and operations was it was kind of provocative. I thought that one was a kind of an interesting backstory.
One of the things I love about Stephen Hunter's book is that you can tell how much fun he had writing it. So you need to race over to Amazon, buy it as quickly as you can. It makes a great Christmas gift. You can give one to the whole family. I'm Michael Bain. This is Triggered. You can find us always for free on michaelbain.tv. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, on Rumble. And you can definitely find us right here next week.